Hi, have you ever wondered why your life looks exactly the way it does now? I used to be that person who would say everything is fine when it really wasn't until I discover this uncomfortable truth, and that is what you tolerate, you allow. And that was a tough pill for me to swallow. Hi, my name is Bonnie. Welcome back to my channel, Healthy Done My Way. In today's video, we're going to discuss how your personal boundaries, or lack thereof, is creating a reality that's not exactly what you would want to have. So, let me explain this. Okay, think of your life like a garden. Every negative behavior, relationship, circumstances you accept and do not challenge, it's like a seed you are deliberately planting. And what happens with that? There are these tons of weeds that are growing around that are causing havoc. And then you have to go in and pull it out. That's not a good thing. No. Okay, so let's just look at the different areas that we tolerate disrespect or just tolerate things that is not acceptable. And the first one is personal relationship. Second one is what is that? Work environment. And the third one is personal growth. Let's start with personal relationships. I have my notes as usual. So, accepting disrespect. And when I say personal relationship, it that can be not necessarily intimate. It can be a friendship with a close family member. It can be someone in your inner circle that may be causing havoc as it relates to disrespect. And that disrespect can be just being condescending or having a terrible disposition in terms of when you speak and not listening to you, not being that active listener like you're being to them. It can be anything. It can be that intimate relationship that is causing not respecting you as a person, or not expecting you as someone that has something valuable to say. Again, it can be anything. And also in the personal relationship category, it can be, emotional manipulation. And that, man, that can wreak havoc on an individual. I know for one is that certain people try to let me see, how can I say this? Certain people try to make you feel like you're the one doing wrong, or you're the one, just they're feeling this way because of something you've done or may not have done. And they said that this is something you caused, so this is why I'm treating you in return in a disrespectful way. Or it can just be anything, you know, anything. You put in a comment below, what do you think that anything could be? Because I know for me, it's just that I command, and I do command respect in many areas, but one in how you speak to me and with me, and being in a conversation. So what it is for you, okay? And two, that emotional manipulation can also be just to get you to do certain things that you don't want to do. For instance, if you love me, you would do this. If you love me, you would do that. Or you don't love me because you're not doing whatever. They try to make you feel guilty, make you feel ashamed, make you second guess yourself. So, I'm just kind of getting off on that, because I'm not getting off, but just going on a tangent with that because, ooh, ooh, okay, let me stop. So yeah. So the next one is professional environment. This is good because we are in a 9 to 5 job every single day, and we're around these individuals a lot. So, which means we want that respect. And honestly, on in an employment should make an employer should make sure that the cultural of the of the of the workplace, the environment is conducive to respect. Point blank. And if that is not going on, then you need to speak on that because I know that is something that I would want to speak on. Thank God I never had to because the environment was always really welcoming and family oriented, if you will. But it can be it's something else. It can be low pay. You know that this other person is doing or this other person doing the same job that you're doing, the task that you're doing, but yet you're lower pay. That should be addressed. How you should do that, that is something that you go and you do research. And I, for one, would go to my supervisor. Me. I'm not saying this is what you should do. I'm saying me. Go to your supervisor and say something to the effect, you know what? I noticed that I should be making this amount, or I want to make this amount. No, I want to make this amount. And is there any reason why? Because my pay range is this to this. And I know I'm doing a lot of different tasks. I'm working on a lot of different projects. And I was wondering if, how can I have this pay raise of some sort? And are there any skills that I need to sharpen up on? Is there any educational resources that I can have that can help me get to that point? And that may not resonate with some of you, but the environment that I was in, I am able to do that. So that's just an example. Okay. The next one is tolerating workplace disrespect. Again, like in personal disrespect, um, we have to get to the point whereby our values and our morals make a difference. And not everyone have the same values and morals, but at the same time, we need to respect each other. And it doesn't have to even have to do with morals or value. It can do with your workspace. I know, like in your office, if people or individual or coworkers like to come by and talk, that's all good and fine. But out of due respect, I would normally say, you know what, I would like to talk with you, but right now I'm really into something that I need to get out and we can talk at a later time. And that is not tolerating anyone just dropping by at any given time talking with you, or if you're in like one of those little shared type office type space things, and the individual may be talking loud or would like to talk with you or using certain type of language, that would be something that I would consider a little disrespect because I know for me, I like to concentrate and I try to be, not always, I try to be cognizant of what's going on around me and other people around me. And so that type of workplace disrespect. And the other one is personal growth. Okay. I like this one because we tend to want disrespect. I mean, we tend to want respect from others, but then we're not respecting ourselves. So, in tolerating certain things like mediocrity, I got it written down. Tolerating your own negative talk and allowing fear to limit your potential. These are things we tolerate. And whether we want to admit it or not, these are the things that we tolerate, which creates our reality, which is our life now. And in reference to the accepting mediocrity, that that just stops you right there. That just limits you right there. You're tolerating that, you're allowing that to happen. So what happens? You don't go any further. We were born, we were beautifully and wonderfully made to grow, to progress, to become whatever that is. Fill in the blank. You are created to become fill in the blank. Okay. And that self talk, negative self talk, no, we're not doing that. No, no, no. You're talking to yourself, you're telling yourself lies. Okay. When you say, I can't do that. You may not can't do it now, but you can do it if you put some I don't know, research behind it and figuring out how to do it. Because I tell you, science has proven that when you talk to yourself, when you're telling yourself you cannot do it, or you don't have the skills to do it, you may not have the skills to do it, but you can say something to the effect is, I don't have the skills now, but I can get the skills. I know I need to get the skills to do this, and I can conquer this. Or you say something to the effect, I'm not smart. I may not have the knowledge now, but I can do some research. I can do a class or whatever the case may be to get it. If you're telling yourself, I can do this, then what's going to happen is your brain is going to open your mind up to different ways to do it. You're going to have these ideas come to download into you saying, maybe I can try this, or you're going to take action. You're going to get the confidence to take action to do research or whatever the case may be, get a mentor, whatever it is. But if you're talking negative to yourself and you're tolerating that, you're creating a limited environment for yourself, okay? Your brain shuts down. Your brain actually not shut down, but your brain off actually, okay, it's like you say, I can't do this. You just giving yourself, your brain, an order not to do it. If you say you can't do it, guess what? I know you heard this before. You won't. But if you tell your brain, I can do this, I know I can figure out a way to do this, then what's going to happen is, again, your brain is going to get that order and say, okay, guys, your brain is going to deploy those little cells and tell them to go out and just find a way to do this. And I'm jokingly saying that, but that's exactly what happened. It happens with me. I know when I used to say, this is so hard, which it was. I'm not telling you to ignore it. But now I say, this is really challenging, but you know what? I'm up for this challenge. I can do this. And I like to quote scriptures. I'll say something to the effect of something like this. I can do all things through Jesus Christ which strengthen me, or all things are possible. I can do this. And it opens up. And I find myself getting the confidence, getting the courage, moving forward. And that moving forward in terms of not being fearful. No, let me take that back. You are going to be fearful. We are going to have times where we are fearful. Not all the time, but there are times. But when we are, let courage take the reign. Let courage take the lead. And I had to get to that point. Fear was stopping me for doing many things, but not anymore. Yes, I still have fear, but guess what? Courage rules over fear. Because I have this thing now that I say, okay, fear, you're not welcome, but since you're here, sit your little self over in that corner and don't talk. Because right now, courage is taking over. Courage is ruling. And that's what I do. And it's kind of funny, but I kind of talk to myself that way. So you get the drift. So that's what we tolerate, we allow. If we're tolerating self disrespect, because then we're going to get that back. If we're tolerating people walking over us and we tolerate being a doormat, then that's what our life is going to look like. Whatever we tolerate, we allow, so which becomes our reality. Okay, so I'm turning my page. Let me just hurry up and turn my page. So the next one is, okay, what about actionable steps? What strategy can we do? Can we incorporate? Can we use to combat these um, tolerating type mindset? Okay, so the first one is, and I always talk about boundaries. I love me some boundaries. Okay, the first one is set clear boundaries, and that is defining your needs. Define your need. First, sit down and define your need. What is it I need from this situation? What does I need from this person? Do you need to feel safe? Do you need to feel comfortable? Do you need to feel, again, respected? What is it? And write that down. And the next one is communicate that clearly. Communicate your boundaries to individuals. They don't know. You set boundaries and then they cross it, and it's like, you get really upset. They don't know if you don't communicate to them what it is you need. For instance, you may be in a family and you need some quiet time when you get home in the evening. Communicate that to the individual. If it's your children, if it's your husband, just say, you know what, guys, I need 15 minutes just to unwind. Just give me 15 minutes when I get home. That's all I need, whatever it is. Or if it's, I don't know, if it's your coworker and they're always coming into your office talking to you, just say, you know what? Can we set up a time during the day or at the end of the day or whatever so we can talk? But during the day, I need to finish this. I need to do the work because I need to stay focused. Whatever it is, communicate that to the individual. Don't get upset or irritated or resentful because they don't know that they don't know what they don't know. They don't know you set these boundaries. So think about it that way. And okay, what is the next one? Okay, practice radical self respect. And it goes back to, your self respect. At all costs, make sure before you do anything, you respect yourself by setting boundaries for yourself in terms of what you're going to allow. And it goes back to being clear of your needs, what you need from you, first of all. I'm going to say that again. What you need from you, from self, okay? What you need, I know what I needed from myself was to be bold, to be confident, to be courageous. I needed, because I was kind and gentle and loving, but I needed to rule those in terms of when to be kind at all time, but don't let individual take advantage of that. So I had to set my boundaries and be bold and confident, but from a place of love and gentleness. And does that make any kind of sense? So sit down and just be radical about self-respect and making sure you know what kind of respect that you want that lines up with your morals and values and just for your overall health for that matter. And the last thing I would do is once you set things in motion, you sit down and you create it in your needs and what you're clear about that. You know how you're going to communicate your boundaries. You know how you are going to make sure it's not crossed. And again, when you're sitting down and you're creating your boundary, make sure that you have this thing of enforcement. If there's consequences to enforcement, if you set boundaries and if that individual doesn't follow that boundary, then you have to follow through. For instance, if you have a friend that behaves in a certain way that is unsavory to what you and you have talked to that person about it, then that's when, okay, maybe, I don't know, reduce your time around that person or kind of distance yourself around from that person. I've had to do that. And and once you do that, they realize, oh, okay, he or she's serious about this. And you have to stand firm on your boundaries. Yeah, there can be time when you're going to be flexible, but at the same time, you want to make sure they are enforceable. And I don't like using that word, but you want to make sure that when the lines are crossed, you adjust it. I mean, you're not adjust it, you address it. Then that way, they are taking you seriously. Okay? They are taking you as your word. You are serious about what you will not or you will not tolerate. Because remember, what you tolerate, you allow, and that becomes your life. Okay? So I think that's it. So, but just remember, your life is a direct reflection of what you tolerate. I'm going to say that again. Your life is a direct reflection of what you tolerate, what I tolerate. And if we see something in our lives that we know we need to adjust, we need to, okay, I'm allowing this to happen, so I need to address this. How does that sound? So, in the comment below, tell me what you're going to address. I mean, tell me what you're willing to not tolerate, put it that way. Let me know because I know I will not tolerate, and this is towards me, I will not tolerate me being so meek that I'm not able to be more bold, but in a very loving way. So, meekness is good, but I can be meek in a bold way, if that makes sense. I am working on self talk, and I've gotten really, I have to say, I have gotten really good at my self talk, self respect type talk. And it's working. I can tell you from experience, it works if we just direct ourselves to setting our boundaries and making sure that we're not tolerating anything that is disrespectful. We're not tolerating things that cause our lives to be in, I don't know, it's just not acceptable. So remember, what we tolerate, we allow, which creates our reality. And I know I'm saying that a lot because I want to drive that in. So, just we can change our life. We have control to do this. It just, if we just look within and see what we need to do and act upon it, and we can do this. We all can do this. So, thank you for listening to me. And like I always say, healthily done my way, meaning your way. Let's do this in a way that not only serve ourselves, but serve others. Thank you. Bye.